Ah, yes, the esteemed Galactic Council. An assembly of what? 153 different species. Each one more bureaucratic than the last, more insistent that their regulations, their endless protocols, were the height of civilization. And me. Irix, a representative of the HFY, ancient and profoundly tired of everyone sat in my seat, my patience wearing thin with every passing second. Order, the presiding member, a blubberous remoke whose name I neither cared to learn nor pronounce correctly, was bellowing into the central echo chamber. The question of galactic defense is a serious matter, one we must approach with utmost diligence and careful consideration. Careful consideration? Oh, they'd been considering it for nearly a millennium now, watching as the galaxy grew increasingly hostile. And here we were, another meeting with nothing but talk, and oh yes, more talk. Representative Reeks of the HFY. Any comments on the matter? Asked the Hremoke, his bulbous eyes swiveling my way with that sickening blend of authority and stupidity. Only that I have heard this discussion far too many times, I said, leaning back with a sigh that would have made a dying Vexilon seem sprightly. Perhaps it's time we stop discussing defense protocols and actually do something. Radical thought, I know. Several members gasped. Others narrowed their eyes or tentacle clusters, or whatever else they used to judge my perceived lack of decorum. But before I could follow up with a speech about our council's inaction, the lights dimmed and a deep, ominous hum filled the chamber. A holographic projection flickered to life in the center, a rotating image of a planet. Blue-green, swirling with clouds, utterly mundane. The kind of place you'd skip over on an interstellar vacation ad. And then, the word everyone had been whispering for weeks. Humans. Amen's silence. Blissful silence as every representative stared at the projection. Now I had heard of these humans, Deathworlders, they were called, from a planet so hostile that half their own species couldn't make it to adulthood. A ferocious, adaptable bunch, well, in theory anyway. But surely even the most savage Deathworlder would show a bit of reverence when standing before the esteemed council. The humans materialized on the projection pad, two of them, in fact. A male and a female, both wearing what I assumed were their finest garments, some kind of rugged fabric, not a gem or regal flourish in sight. They stood side by side, looking around the chamber as if it were well, average. One of them even had the audacity to wave. Hi, the male said, his voice echoing through the hall, sounding far too relaxed for someone standing before the most powerful beings in the galaxy. I'm Max. This is Tasha. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us, I whispered to myself, glancing at my neighbor, an insectoid delegate who looked equally baffled. The council erupted into murmurs. Who were these Deathworlders, and why weren't they terrified? Tasha, the female, took a step forward and gave a small nod. Look, we know you called us here because you think we might be able to help. So let's get down to it, yeah? We don't have time for What did you call it, Max? Ceremonial posturing, he replied with a smirk. The council chamber filled with gasps, clicks, hisses, and orchestra of outrage. Ceremonial posturing? We did not engage in ceremonial posturing. We, the Galactic Council, held traditions. They were important. And yet, as I watched Max and Tasha stand there, undeterred by our outrage, a darkly amusing thought crossed my mind. Perhaps these humans would bring more than just chaos to our sacred protocols. It didn't take long for the humans to start offering their suggestions. Max leaned forward, all business. All right, so what exactly is the threat we're dealing with, and how soon can we hit them? The council elder, a crustaceous entity named Vio Neke, let out a bubbling scoff. Hit them? We are dealing with the Kir'ak Empire, the largest, most disciplined fleet in the galaxy. We do not hit them. Negotiate. Max looked like he just swallowed something unpleasant. Negotiate? With a fleet. Tasha rolled her eyes, muttering to him, sounds like they haven't fought any real wars. Oh, we have fought, interrupted Glormar, the ambassador of the Othrex. We simply resolve issues in a dignified manner through strategy and patience. Patience, Max muttered, his expression unreadable. Then he turned to Tasha. Well, I think patience went out the airlock about, 2 centuries ago, don't you? Tasha nodded. I was thinking we could use force. The council collectively shuddered. Force? Against the Kir'ak? Was this barbarian serious? I looked at them, unsure if I was amused or horrified. They hadn't even paused to consider the nuances of our council protocols or the 1,000-year diplomatic history that demanded a very particular kind of response to aggression. Oh, but it wasn't just the human's gall that was jarring. It was the timing. Right when we were debating our next move against the Kir'ak, we received an urgent message: the peaceful species of the Glaro system, the Kir'ak's own neighbors, had declared their alliance with the very empire we were preparing to confront. Now, the Glaro were known for their diplomacy, their calm demeanor. They were so peaceable, they made trees seem aggressive. And yet here they were, pledging themselves to a regime bent on galactic conquest. It was laughable. And yet, it wasn't. "You're telling me these Glaro guys want to throw in with the Kir'ak?" Max asked, one eyebrow raised as he reviewed the council's data. "I thought they were pacifists." "They were," Vero Nake spluttered, indignant. "They've shifted. We believe there may have been monetary incentives." I watched as Max and Tasha exchanged a look that was almost amused. Tasha leaned forward, her eyes alight with a strange eagerness. "So if we can't negotiate, we'll have to move quickly. Who's with us?" And so, against every protocol, every shred of dignity the council had, formed an alliance with the humans. I could scarcely believe it myself, yet there I was, standing alongside Max, Tasha, and an assembly of council members ready to shudder follow human strategies. Irix of the Sephri, known for caution, was now part of an interspecies strike team. Our first step? Tasha called it a recon maneuver. She explained it in a tone so casual I nearly forgot we were discussing interstellar warfare. "We sneak in, get eyes on their fleet movements, gather data. No big deal," she said, like it was an average Tuesday. No big deal? I was fairly certain that was the moment my central nerve cluster began developing what the humans would call an ulcer. Then came the battle. A mess of lasers, explosions, and unbelievably laughter. The humans shouted over their comms, exchanging insults, encouraging each other. "Nice shot," Max shouted. "Showing what we're made of, Tasha?" Meanwhile, I was huddled in my command seat, watching the carnage unfold with a sense of impending doom. Their strategies, though unconventional, were undeniably effective. The Kir'ak fleet faltered under the unexpected force, and we managed to turn the tide. Somehow. In the aftermath, as the council reassembled to honor the heroes of the battle, I found myself, oh stars help me actually admiring the humans. They brought a clarity, a simplicity to warfare that we had long forgotten. Irix, who had once scoffed at their very existence, was now forced to admit that these Deathworlders had, against all odds, become the galaxy's best hope. And as I watched Max and Tasha stand there, grinning, utterly oblivious to the council's pomp and ceremony, I felt a twinge of something else, a sense that perhaps, just perhaps, the galaxy was a little better with these wild, reckless humans in it.